Hey guys, welcome to the channel. This is Eric Johnson. I want to talk about the 5 things I have done with autism. And one of them I've done since I was 2 years old, so 46 years. And I recently stopped doing it, so stay till the very end because we're going to reveal it. So the very first thing that I've done with behavior, autistic behavior, is tapping. So I was such a tapper growing up. I would just use my mom's, wooden spoons from the kitchen. I tapped on my bed. I tapped on the desk in school. I was constantly tapping. And finally, my mom gave me, on my 12th birthday, we went and got a drum set. And that was the best day of my life because people with autism, they have repetitive behaviors and they call it stimming. It's self-soothing, so it actually makes you feel good when you're doing these things. You're not crazy, you're not mentally ill. You just do these things because it makes you feel better. They actually say that it can release endorphins and dopamine into your mind, so it's a feel-good drug that you produce by doing these stimming behaviors. So I loved music, and I was constantly listening to my sister's music, my dad's blues music, and the Go-Go's had a great song called We Got the Beat, and I just could not stop tapping to that song and all the other songs that my parents listened to. Finally got the drum set when I was 12, and still took 6 months to get the first cymbal for that drum set, but I was in heaven just tapping. Now I could actually drum with drumsticks and, get some total satisfaction from some loud banging noises with a drum set. Number 4 is twitching. Now I can twitch. I still twitch today. It's something that I'm doing because I quit this other thing that I'm going to get to in a minute. But I find myself going to bed and twitching my feet. And I have to do that. Sometimes, it could be restless leg syndrome. I don't know. But the first hour in bed, depending on how much caffeine I had for the day or how much I worked outside, if I haven't done any work outside and I'm jacked up on caffeine, then I could twitch my leg, for an hour or two until my leg feels tired enough to where I can stop. So twitching is something I've always done. I did it, underneath the desk at school, wherever I could. Number 3 is humming. So along with the music, which I love so much, I'm constantly humming songs, and I can't get songs out of my head actually. So if I hear a song, it can stay in my head until another song comes along and replaces that one. So I constantly have a band playing in my head 24/7, almost 24/7. I mean, there's a song usually playing before I go to bed, and sometimes it's very irritating because it could be a jingle from a commercial on TV, because commercials are geared towards getting stuck in our heads, and you know what I'm talking about. Or those one-hit wonder bands where they just had a ridiculous song, like "Who Let the Dogs Out," and then it's in your head for the next week until you can finally replace it with something else. So humming has always been there, along with my love for music. So that's definitely a big one. Number 2 is looking outside. So I work from home, so it's very hard for me to just focus for 4 hours straight. I usually will, do like 5 to 10 minutes on the video on the laptop, and then I have to look outside. I'm attracted to nature. It's a peaceful place to be. I wish I was outside more. My life was I was a very happy landscaper. Let's just put it that way. When I landscaped for a living and I mowed lawns, mowing lawns is the best thing ever for people with autism and Asperger's, because we like to do repetition. I like to see the cut grass line, juxtaposed with the uncut side of the lawn. I like following patterns. So mowing, washing dishes, excellent choices for people with Asperger's. If I had to go get a job right now, I would definitely wash dishes. But I always look out the window. I've been looking out the window ever since I was a little boy. doing that and listening to music in my headphones, my Walkman, blaring Ozzy and Judas Priest growing up in the 80s, along with, you know, looking out the window. And then the number one, the thing that I've done over 46,000 hours of, I've calculated this, I've done this since I was 2 years old, and that is rocking back and forth. Now this is my biggest escape in the world. I've had so many dreams and daydreams and fantasies and emotions and memories, all tied with rocking back and forth. In fact, I did it so much I had pads on my knuckles. They're finally healing because I haven't rocked back and forth for the last 4 months. You can look at the other videos on my YouTube channel and see the progression. You can see the last day I rocked, I was actually kind of a nervous wreck and I was scared to quit. But since I stopped rocking back and forth, it's coming out in other ways. It's really hard to just stop all your coping mechanisms all at once. I am proud to say that I have greatly reduced I do not rock back and forth anymore. Like I said, I'm doing other things now, but I'm definitely not wasting 14 hours a day rocking back and forth like I used to. So I think all of these things are because, for one, I'm a very highly sensitive person. I was a very sensitive boy growing up. I was scared of my surroundings. I didn't feel safe in my surroundings, and I just felt grounded and safe when I rocked back and forth. I started on a rocking horse, and then I had a little rocking chair that my dad passed down to me. I don't know if he rocked, you know, as a teenager. I know he rocked in that rocking chair as a little boy as well. I know that he has Asperger's just as like I do, even though he doesn't know that. So those are the 5 repetitive behaviors I've had in autism. Back to why I started, not only was I highly sensitive, I think I was hyper aware of my surroundings, and I was very sensitive, had a sensory overload. You know, noises scared me. Certain noises were very jarring and scary. And maybe I was just restless. I was hyperactive. I had a lot of energy. And there were times when my dad told me I have to sit still, or I have to stay home today. I can't play with friends. We used to have a day called the Family Day, which killed me. You know, someone having Asperger's and autism and hyperactive, I'd love to play. And when my dad said we're having Family Day, which usually meant just hanging out around the house watching my dad mow the lawn, I couldn't do anything. So same thing with high school and grade school. You know, I was a big dreamer. I just dreamed about, you know, traveling the world or going to Ivy League colleges or getting the Ferrari or Lamborghini or becoming a rock and roll drummer. I hated school. I did not excel in school. I could care less about math or history, and all I wanted to do is become a rock and roll drummer. My number one love was music until I discovered alcohol when I was 17, and then that was the great escape for almost 2 decades. You know, I nearly died from alcohol and drugs and got into some bad addictions and negative coping mechanisms, but I'm here to say that I'm here, I survived, and I'm learning positive coping mechanisms every day. You just have to get that excess energy out. If you feel like stemming all the time, you know, there's other things you can do to relax. You can go for a jog or a walk. You can take a hot bath. You can do a sauna. You can look into meditation. Meditation is just incredible. Even if you only do it a half an hour a day, you'll see a tremendous change in your behavior and your stemming patterns. So I hope this helps. Click that subscribe button if you're new here, and we'll talk to you soon.